sports station. The home of champions. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The three-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Home of the five-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. And Miami Hurricanes basketball.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the price seat to our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or at DoralVolkswagen.com. Dolphins look to win their fifth in a row and 6 out of 7 tonight at 8:15 in Pittsburgh when they face the Steelers. Miami, they're going to take on Texas A&M Saturday at noon. The Aggies are favored by 3.5. The Heat look to end a 4-game losing streak tonight as they host the Raptors at 7:30. Pella Larson is out with a bad ankle, and the Canes basketball team took down University of Louisiana Monroe 104-79 over the weekend. They take on FIU tomorrow at 7. On to weather, sponsored by Chill Zone AC, featuring reliable, Rude AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com. Temperatures going to be around 80 degrees today with a chance of rain. I am Dan Day. It's time now for the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
My man Dan's got it going here. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Welcome aboard, everyone. Joe, of course, is in Pittsburgh for Monday Night Football. He will stop by with us at some point during the show. I am Hollywood. Alex Donno is back here with us as well. Jamie is here, and again, Dan driving the program. So a very good morning, gentlemen. Hey, Donno, good thing we have nothing to talk about from Sunday. It was kind of a quiet day in the NFL, so that's good, right?
Yeah, you didn't have, 44, 45-year-old AARP members out there throwing touchdowns. Nothing crazy going on in the league. But, man, I'm glad to be here, Hollywood, on a busy week like this as well for the Miami Hurricanes, who are about to play in, I would argue, their most important game since the Fiesta Bowl back in January of 2003. So it's been a minute since they've been in a game with direct national championship implications like this.
It certainly has, and man, I am looking forward to that coming up on Saturday. The Dolphins play tonight, so we got that going on. And Donno, man, again, this is like a crazy one where to start here with this. But man, I'll tell you what hit me hard yesterday were those injuries in the NFL.
Oh my God!
And seeing Patrick Mahomes go down, and I don't know if there's anyone out there, Donno, that doesn't enjoy watching Patrick Mahomes play. And just to see not only the Chiefs get eliminated from the playoffs, but at the same time, Mahomes gets the ACL injury. Boy, it is
awful.
What a rough thing to see happen there. And you got that going. Micah Parsons, the same deal with the knee. So it was it was no shortage of events in the NFL yesterday. Patriots Bills lived up to the hype. Oh man, yesterday was one heck of a day out there in the league, Donno.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, obviously, feel awful for Mahomes and Parsons because these season-ending injuries are just terrible. You don't wish those on anybody. It's crazy to think that we are going to be in a few weeks in an NFL playoff without the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since 2014. And I gotta find again. There was a crazy stat out there that it's going to be like the first time you haven't had Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes in the NFL playoffs in basically a generation. Like there could be, 20-some-year-olds listening to this right now who have never experienced an NFL playoff without Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes, and that's what we're about to get.
So let's see what else we had over the weekend, Donno. We had a local guy win a Heisman.
Yes, sir.
So we had that as well. Mendoza wins his Heisman, which we knew. We kind of knew that one. I think going in that he was. Well,
I think everybody knew that except for Diego Pavia. Did you see him? He was throwing a tantrum over the weekend. That dude is.
Bayless weighed in on that too and was like, I don't know, man. I didn't realize going into that thing that there was any sort of like wiggle room for debate on who the Heisman was, but I don't know. Nevertheless, congratulations to Mendoza, Fernando Mendoza, and his family. Very cool to win the Heisman, and he will be Donno. I don't see what the selection order ends up being, but he will be very highly touted when this draft rolls around. I don't know if the first team is going to end up picking a quarterback just because of the situation in Tennessee, but he will go very high in the upcoming draft. I think that's for sure.
Well, something that you just, I don't know, put it in perspective for me, like just how much it means, not just to the person who wins the Heisman and their family, but he, of course, is a Miami Columbus alum. And I was seeing on social media like a clip from the watch party that Columbus had, their alumni association, and just seeing the pure jubilation at the moment that they caught on film when Mendoza was announced, who is the first ever Heisman winner from that high school. Of course, a high school that, produced Miami's current head coach and Mario Cristobal. A lot of Alonzo Highsmith, a lot of great football players have come through Columbus over the years. But to have Fernando Mendoza win that award, it just hits different. So I thought that was really cool to see, like that whole, I think all of South Florida should embrace Mendoza, but certainly the Columbus contingent has got to be very, very proud to see what he just accomplished.
So, Dan, I want to bring you in too, man. Good morning to you. And you hit us with everything there on that update. You even threw Louisiana Monroe in there. I don't know if that is that a hometown thing, because the Canes were able to dispatch them on Saturday. Are you a Louisiana Monroe Warhawk type of guy?
That would be a hell to the no. You don't know anything about Louisiana. Like every state, it's very divided, and I'm from South Louisiana, and we don't mess with people from North Louisiana. So I'm glad the Hurricanes took care of business against that garbage team. And you have to admit, they were bad. They were bad.
They weren't good, and I feel like I should have checked in with you prior to the game, because I needed to get my geographical lesson on Louisiana Monroe. I had no idea that they were from hated territory with you, Dan. But what, Dan, if you can, what stood out to you this week? I know you got Dolphins postgame coming up here this evening on QAM, so you got a busy day as well. But I'm just curious, what kind of stood out to you this weekend? It was what a busy week of stuff, and injuries, and great games. I don't know if there's anything that stood out to you, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Fernando Mendoza, that's a great story right there out of Columbus, Christopher Columbus High School. I talked to people this weekend. I was like, he's from Christopher Columbus. Like, oh, I didn't know it was Christopher Columbus High School. I was like, you didn't know? I thought it was just Columbus. But that was really a big deal right there. The Saints winning big, the Pelicans winning big last night. And then tonight, I'm guessing that the Dolphins are going to win tonight. So I'm excited about that.
Well, we will certainly get into that Dolphins game. And I don't know if you saw those pictures of Tua thrown in the snow. Looked like a blizzard up there that he was throwing in.
I'm sure that's going to go well, given how well he's played in recent games. I'm sure Tua in a blizzard is going to go just fine tonight.
Well, I got to tell you, first of all, by the way, the Dolphins are almost all but eliminated from the playoffs due to the results yesterday. But, I think we do that going in. This is more about how can they finish the season. So Joe has talked me into that the Dolphins can and maybe will win this game. He spent the entire week talking about how doable it was, and in fairness, Joe has not been a Pittsburgh fan from the beginning. But he has tried to talk me into this one and how the Dolphins can find a way to win this game. So Joe will stop by with us at some point, by the way, during the show. Probably catch him during his morning walk in Pittsburgh, and we'll see if we can get him on with us here and get his take on this one. But Donno, I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you. I think the Dolphins are gonna have a tough time in this one here tonight. Can they win it? Yes. Do they win it though? And they've been very solid through this post Chris Greer winning streak that they've been on right now. But this is a different animal out here tonight. And look, should they find a way to win this game, then yes, they most certainly they will kill one of the narratives that, or maybe two narratives that they've had going against them for a long time here. But we'll see, Donno. I guess you're not taking Miami tonight.
I mean, I'd probably lean to Pittsburgh at home, but I will say I feel better about the Dolphins' chances, not only because these are not your granddaddy's Pittsburgh Steelers right now, but also the way the Dolphins have been playing in recent weeks. I really love how they've gotten the run game going, and I figure run games travel pretty well, and that's probably what you're going to lean on more in a bad weather game like this. So. If they can run the way that they've been running in recent weeks, again, it's easier to do that against the Jets than it is against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, I don't expect them to go out there and have Tua to try to sling it for 350, 400 yards, which is obviously not something he's been doing lately anyway. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions. So I think the Dolphins are going to lean more on the running game. The defense has been playing a lot better lately, which, again, are things that travel well and translate better to cold weather. So, Hollywood, I don't think the Dolphins are going to get blown out tonight. I think it's going to be a close game, but I would give the Steelers the edge at home and in their element over the Dolphins being out of their element, even though they got that extra practice in the snow.
Yeah, and Donno, I got to tell you, I just pulled up our comments here on our YouTube stream. By the way, we are streaming on YouTube if you would like to join us. And I feel like, first of all, good morning, Cap for Life, but I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone here because he's talking about me defending Chris Greer. And
really?
Well, I don't know if that happened, Donno, it was a millennium ago. But anyway, I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. Guy's been gone for like a month now.
Yeah.
And we're still bringing up.
And what they've only lost like one game since firing Chris Greer, I think. Was
undefeated.
It just the Ravens game? Zero? Was it zero games? Okay.
Yeah, they are undefeated since the curse of Chris Greer has been lifted from the team. That was the only thing holding them back, Donno. Hey, let me ask you this, because I talk about this with Joe all the time. Do you think Chris Greer is sitting there like stewing and he's just like hoping that the team loses? Or do you think he's just like, this is great. I feel good for these guys. They're winning. Isn't it like human nature to like want them to lose after they fire you?
Yeah. I
part ways with you.
I would speak to he's probably rooting for them to lose because he was the scapegoat. Like he was they did fire a couple scouts, I guess, but they basically singled out Chris Greer like, hey, you are the sacrifice here, and if we get rid of you, everything's going to turn around. So yeah, I think if I were him, and again, this is me speaking here, I'm not speaking for Chris, but I'd probably root for them to lose.
He said you wanted to paid. Keep living in La La Land, you snake. All right, Cap. I hear you, man. I hear you.
Man, he's pulling up receipts that may or may not be real. Like, I don't even know if you actually said these things, but he's still pulling up the receipts.
I thought at the time, Donno, that they needed to give him something because you couldn't go into a season with your quarterback sitting out of camp and, all disgruntled and all that good stuff. So I did think at some point you needed to give him something. They, gave him a pretty decent contract extension, and now they're gonna have to live with it. But yeah, man, no, Cap has got me, man. He's got me on that one. So he wins that battle. But nevertheless, I think we're in agreement right now that Tua is not the answer for this Dolphins team. But with that being said, maybe he'll show up tonight, man. Maybe he will show up and prove some people wrong in the cold. I'm not buying it, Donald. I'm kind of with you on that one. I think they're going to have a tough time in this game tonight, but we will certainly have plenty of time to discuss this morning, get everyone's opinion on that. You could also text us 305-567-0560. We have Heat tickets to give away at some point during the show, I've been told by Len. So we'll do that. And Donno, I got to tell you again, man, as I pull up the front page of just about every sports website, I see Patrick Mahomes just laying there.
Sheesh.
And what a disaster for the National Football League, who, by the way, is hemorrhaging quarterbacks once again.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is to this quarterback situation, but you got Mahomes goes down, right? So you lose your top guy. And it was funny. Well, not funny, actually. I'm sorry. Funny is not the right word. They were playing the promo for the Christmas games yesterday, and Mahomes is like featured in those. And so, obviously this is not a good situation for the league. And now you got, Mahomes goes down. Like I said, you got Phillip Rivers playing quarterback, which ended up being a cool story, but yeah.
He did pretty well. Like he led what was essentially a game-winning drive. The problem was their defense didn't get the memo, but he leads a scoring drive with under a minute left in the game to take the lead. Like Phillip Rivers, he did his job yesterday. It was fantastic.
I got the vibes from watching him. I'm curious, you think? I got the vibes of like when I saw Mike Tyson go in the ring against Jake Paul, that like this guy just shouldn't be here. Like this is borderline dangerous. He looked in terrible shape, didn't he?
Well, it looks like it was a full Uncle Rico situation, basically. Like it was like completely like you take like your uncle at the family barbecue who's like throwing the ball through the tire and like it's stuff, but he's got the belly, he's eating burgers and drinking beers all day, and you put him in an NFL uniform. But it's like, I mean, thank God like nothing terrible happened to him. You know, there were a couple of moments when he didn't look so great in the game, but he made some big time throws as well. I mean, I don't know. I think Phillip Rivers doing that more than 5 years out of the league. 5 years, yeah, 2020 was the last time he played.
5 years out of the league. They said he's got 10 kids, by the way, which I don't know how you do that one, Donno. That's got to be like auto fire there with 10. He's 45, right? So I don't know when he started.
You forget.
He started at like 16, I think, if I do them. I don't know. Not really. Like
he has a grandkid.
Yeah,
he does have a grandkid.
Yeah.
Right. How do you have a grandkid? I'm sorry.
Can you imagine? Like, I don't know how old the grandkid is, but it's like, hey, look, Grandpa is starting an NFL game. Has that phrase ever been said before?
Second time.
So that means that he was having kids at I don't know, 20.
Yeah, probably.
Guess, right. That if I had to guess on a number on that, because Donno, like you and I are you're just 40, right? I think you're about the same age as me.
41, yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay, so I'm turning 40 in like 2 days from now. So we're about the same age, and your son is about the same age as my oldest. I want to say maybe a few years younger.
Yeah, he's 7, my son. Yeah.
Yeah. So for you to have a grandkid in the next 4 years, I think it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
Yeah.
So, hey, crazier things have happened, though. But no, that was that whole story was wild, though, man. And he just looked old. Like he looked strange out there, and he looked probably a little husky for that position. But hey, man, cool that he was able to do it. And I saw that he got emotional after the game, and still pretty cool, man. He shows us that even at age 45, you could still get out there and do it. But it's just another reminder, Donno, that these quarterbacks are dropping like flies out there, and the NFL, which again to me is not a star-driven league. It doesn't need specific stars to carry it, but when you start losing guys like Patrick Mahomes, certainly not good for your business.
Yeah, it's not star-driven to the point of the NBA, where that's like kind of all. I mean, I'm simplifying it, but that's such a big driver for the NBA. But still, I feel like the NFL is a star enough driven league, with these quarterbacks, especially with Mahomes being the poster child for that of this league. So it's a big time blow. I mean, they wouldn't be in the playoffs anyway. So I guess now the hope would be he makes a speedy enough recovery that he's good to go for week 1 next year, and that there's no issue with that, because I would say that this league does need Patrick Mahomes.
They certainly do. They at least got Josh Allen yesterday, though. Josh Allen showed up big time for the Bills. The Bills are fighting for their playoff lives as well. And boy, they stunned the Patriots yesterday. That, by the way, that was a heck of a game. That thing just went back and forth and back and forth till the end there. So a very, very impressive finish. All right. We got so many things going on here this morning. Donno is with us. We're going to jump into this Canes game that's coming up. In what do we say officially? 5 days from now? 5 days from now, Miami will play in the college football playoff against Texas A&M. So obviously very, very excited for that game. We got the Dolphins playing Monday Night Football tonight. Omar Kelly is going to join us at 8 o'clock. Again, Joe, when he is on his morning walk through the snow, we will definitely try to track him down this morning and bring him on. We got our YouTube stream going. WQ at 104.3 WQAM on YouTube. You go on there. Say mean things to Cap for life this morning, by the way, because he's just pulling all my tour receipts. So go on there and say mean things to him. We got a lot of stuff coming up here. We'll give away some Heat tickets as well as we continue on. It is a beautiful Monday morning here on WQAM.
I want to tell you about your South Florida Chevy dealers. Man, I love my Tahoe.
taken by injection.
Introducing the IHOP Value Menu, where all
I need your love. I need your time. When everything's wrong, you make it.
Welcome back in here on WQAM on this Monday morning. Hollywood, Donno, Dan Day with you as we continue on here. Donno, I got to tell you, I read this tweet here yesterday. I thought this was crazy. Following the Chiefs' elimination, the NFL playoffs will not include Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Patrick Mahomes for the first time since 1998. That certainly makes you feel old, doesn't it?
That's the one I was looking for. I forgot about the Peyton Manning component. First time you talk about quarterback star power, right? It was Peyton versus Brady for the better part of the 2000s through like 2020 almost, and then Pat Mahomes. First time without any of the three of them since 1998. That's unbelievable.
This one's even crazier. So Trey Wingo has this one. Both Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes won 3 Super Bowls earlier in their career, then tore their ACLs in their 9th seasons with both teams missing the playoffs that year.
Wow.
So maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a precursor for things to come here for Mahomes, but we will certainly be rooting for him to make a return, right? I mean, I think everyone really, at the very least, enjoys what he's able to bring to the table for that team. I know someone texted in, they're happy no Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so am I, by the way. It got a little old after a while, I'm sorry to say.
It did get old. I will tell you, as someone who had issues getting tickets for that stupid concert, it did get a little old, but I will tell you, the NFL probably freaking out right now. I saw the Cowboys are hanging by a thread there too to get into the playoffs. It looks like they're just about out. So it's certainly not good for the NFL's business to have a lot of these teams out, but nonetheless, Donno, I don't even think it matters anymore who's playing in these games. I think people are going to tune in regardless. The numbers will be huge, and we're going to get some teams in the postseason here that we have not seen, right, in a little while. So this is going to be a very interesting NFL playoffs. This is going to be a very balanced and I think evenly matched NFL playoffs.
And that's always what the league wants. The league always wants parity, and they always want a bit of unpredictability. And I think it's okay with them when you have powerhouse teams emerge like the Chiefs and the Eagles in recent years. Maybe this is the year Buffalo and Josh Allen finally gets over the hump. So like you said, it's going to work out no matter what. But I got to ask you, when you had trouble getting Taylor Swift tickets, did your kids want to go, or was that just for you?
No, that was just for me, Donno. The kids did not want to go. It was just for me. I actually went by myself, and I wanted to have a no. That really, by the way, that was a struggle getting one ticket to that stupid concert. That really was quite difficult. But I heard it was the greatest concert in the history of concerts. So that's good. I'm glad everyone that went told me it's just a life-changing experience. Apparently.
And by the way, somebody Cap, actually your pal Cap for Life writes in about that Bills comeback. Yeah, I was watching. I've got the Sunday ticket, and I had like the 4 screener on, and I had left the Bills for dead. Like I had taken them off of my multi-view to put another game in, and then I found out afterwards that they came back and won the game. I was like, what? 21 points down. So yeah, Josh Allen still has it. Okay.
Well, the crazy thing about that game, too, is I looked at the live line, and I was up to plus 225, but it looked bad for the Bills. And I go, plus 225, they think they're coming back, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want any more money on the Bills right now. Yeah. So, Buffalo comes all the way back. Hey, man, that is how that league goes, though, right? It is so rare you see, especially when it's 2 good teams like that. It is so rare when you see a blowout. And teams definitely play differently when they're playing ahead defensively, and then when you're coming from behind, you play different offensively. And the one thing I will say about the Buffalo Bills, Donno, is you could tell when they are getting desperate, when they need their offense, that Josh Allen starts to run, doesn't he? He takes off.
Yes.
That he brings that as a major part of his game. And that you could just tell when that team is in trouble and they need him, boy, does he step up. It really is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's able and willing to do whatever it takes to get a first down and move the chains, which is something it's great to have that. I mean, we obviously don't, have that in Miami. Our guy is not, just going to be able to start running. I mean, he'd probably get hurt pretty quickly too. But Josh Allen being able to do what he does, it's fun to watch. And obviously Mahomes, you won't be seeing him in the playoffs, but he does that in different ways. He starts throwing those crazy sidearms and you get these improvisations. But yeah, Josh Allen, when you need it most, that guy's going to lower his head, tuck the football. He's going to run somebody over.
The thing, too, about the Bills right now is I don't know that they're ever going to have a better look at a Super Bowl, right? I mean, the Ravens are a shell of themselves, right? The
Chiefs are out, and that's the team that usually knocks them out.
So the path is easier right now. It's certainly very balanced right now in both sides, AFC and NFC. There's a lot of balance, but, man, for the Buffalo Bills, I don't know that you're ever going to get a road like this to a Super Bowl where you probably don't even have to go through either of the 2 teams that have been the big 3, if you will, Donno, the Lamar show and of course Mahomes. So you won't have to go through either of those right now. Kind of crazy.
Well, when you can keep your championship window open that long, eventually you're going to get your opportunity. Right? Because how many times, since the Bills have been super relevant and their roster, I mean, the constant is Josh Allen. But when they've lost players like Stephon Diggs, are the Bills going to be as good this year? They had kind of a slow start to this season. Like, we've often wondered if their window is closing. It's like Josh Allen going to be able to keep carrying that team again. But you've kept your window open, for now 6 or 7 years now, the Bills? And yeah, like you said, the time is now, because usually it's Pat Mahomes that sends you packing in the playoffs. You're not going to have to worry about that this year. So the Bills better get it done this season, or I don't know when they will.
Texter here says from the 334 or 336 area code, difference in Mahomes and Brady. Sells Brady towards early and was ready next season to continue winning the division. Mahomes may miss next season being his tear so late. No way, man. Mahomes will be back. I would guarantee you almost that. And look, there has been a lot of advances in the whole ACL deal. since that Brady tear. That's got to be 20 years ago or something by now. But
17 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Wow, that boy, that is a long
Makes
time.
me feel old, right?
Yeah, it really does. But I can almost promise you, Patrick Mahomes will be ready for training camp, especially the way that guy trains and the way that his body is built. He will bounce back from that one. But still, nevertheless, that was a tough one to watch, man. He was playing on the bad knee, and then you could just see him. He went down in a lot of pain yesterday. Very, very tough to watch. And I know that on the other side of that game was Justin Herbert and the Chargers, and I know that the Dolphins could have had Justin Herbert, but that ship has long sailed, my friends. And Chris Greer paid the price for it. It's done. It is not happening. He is not coming here. We are not drafting him. So it's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately, at this point, Donno. I think that ship has sailed.
How the hell did we beat Denver by 60 points and now they're first in the AFC? It's been a couple years, first of all. But and yeah, when we beat Denver, we put up a 70 burger on that team a couple years ago. That was back when Tua used to have the greatest show on natural grass, right? And Tyreek Hill was having his best season. He was threatening for 2,000 yards. It feels like so long ago now.
You know what's crazy though too is the Broncos, like, all of a sudden after that game got good.
Yeah, that was the turning point. Like, we humiliated them so badly that they were like, never again. We're good now.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause here. Joe is going to join us at 7 o'clock from Pittsburgh, so we will check in with Joe Rose at 7 here this morning. When we come back, though, we got to talk some Canes, man. The Hurricanes getting set to play in the biggest game in what, Donno, 20 years? That
23, I think.
Right? Yeah, this is a huge game here for Miami. Coach Cristobal is at the basketball game over the weekend. How about that, man? Taking in a little Canes hoops there before they get ready to head out to College Station and take on Texas A&M. Donno's going to be hitting it hard on the Locked On Canes podcast. Make sure you check that out this week, as he is going to give us a lot of game previews, I'm guessing, Donno. A lot of different ways that Miami can go up there and get wins. Everyone's getting fired up for this one, man. I got Victor's production notes for the pregame yesterday. He's ready to roll. So we're getting ready, man. This is going to be a lot of fun as Miami gets set to take on Texas A&M. We'll get some of Donno's early keys to this one when we come back here on WQAM.
Hey, I got to tell you right now about the main man, Anthony Caliendo at the Business Broker Experts. Boy,
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM. Hollywood, Donno, Dan Day along with you on this beautiful Monday morning. Dolphins getting set for Monday Night Football, so Joe Rose will stop by with us in about 15 minutes from now, right at 7 o'clock. So we'll track Joe down in Pittsburgh, and we'll do that with him. And Donno, we have you here this morning, the host of the Locked on Canes podcast. And, of course, post-game here on WQAM for the Hurricanes, and Miami getting set to take on Texas A&M on Saturday in the college football playoff. Donno, as we look at this game, I'll tell you, Miami is playing as well as anyone in the country over the last month. They have gotten healthy, and they have some new pieces here, like, the Pringle story, I think, is pretty cool, and in his emergence, and of course, we get to see Malachi Toney on the big stage here, which should certainly be exciting as well from an offensive standpoint here for the Canes. But I think defensively is where Miami may have some interesting advantages here. And I think you look at that defensive line, and that could be the key here for the Canes early in this game, getting off to a good start. Because I do think one of the keys, and look, I know this is kind of obvious, but the quicker you could take that crowd somewhat out of that game, the better, because that's one of those environments where things can snowball very quickly for you, right? If things go off the rails early. So I think the defensive line can kind of set the tone in this game for Miami.
Yeah, and they're going to have to contain Marcel Reed, who's a running threat. The Texas A&M quarterback, and the last time we saw him, he was a little limped. Hurt his ankle against Texas, but he's had 3 weeks, so you'd imagine he's probably fully recovered or close to it. So he can hurt you with his legs, which is, Miami's faced a few mobile quarterbacks this year, so they're going to understand what that assignment entails, but they're going to need to pressure him and make him uncomfortable. Like, the job of Bain and Mesidor is so important because Marcel Reed has shown this year he can be rattled, that if you can force him to make some uncomfortable throws, he can give you some interceptions. And I know that they're going to be saying the same thing about Carson Beck on the flip side. I know that the narratives are similar for both quarterbacks, but we've seen it true about Reed, who didn't finish the season very strongly through a couple of second-half interceptions against Texas. So pressure is going to be important. There's going to be really good lines of scrimmage battles. Both teams have really good offensive and defensive lines. But for Miami on offense, obviously a guy like Malachi Toney can hold keys to break the game wide open just with how good and how dynamic he is. But I think it starts with running the football. Texas A&M, they've been more vulnerable to big plays on the ground than most teams in the SEC had been this year. They gave up more runs of 20-plus yards than anyone else in the Southeastern Conference. And so you mentioned the name Gerard Pringle to try to get him into space. You could also use, of course, Toney in your running game. Miami has used him in the Wildcat, some jet sweeps. So you would imagine that guys like Toney and Pringle are going to try to break some outside runs. Of course, Fletcher and Marty Brown are going to try to kind of soften up the interior of Texas A&M's defensive line. But you've got to be able to run the ball, because if you can't and they're teeing off on Beck, Texas A&M leads the nation in sacks, and they've got a player, Cassius Howell, who has 11.5 sacks on the season. So you've got to be able to keep him in check. Obviously, you like the matchups there. Miami's got really good offensive tackles. Depending on wherever they line Howell up, he moves around to either side. But CeCe Mauinoa on the right side, Markel Bell on the left have both protected very, very well this year. But you don't want to be in a lot of third and longs where he's going to have the opportunity to get in your quarterback's face. So you have to run the football to keep him honest.
And I like this coaching matchup too here, Donno. I like that you got Heatherman and Doss a couple of weeks here to really scheme and game plan at this thing. And this is it, right? There's not going to be a single play held back. Whatever you got in the playbook is going out in this one, right? Whether it's Toney, I'm guessing he throws the ball at least once in this game, right? I mean they got to do the signature Toney throw, right?
Yeah, and you gotta maintain the identity that really got you here. I know that it was really a tale of two offenses for Miami this season. Like early on, just very, very conservative and kind of a ball control type of offense, and then eventually that kind of stopped working, right? I mean, you had that was a contributing factor, and not the only factor, but a contributing factor in both of your losses. And then the final 4 games of the year, Dawson opened it up. Things were creative. They didn't get conservative with leads late in games. I think you need to stay with that identity. Assuming the game is close, or if Miami has a big lead, maybe then you get conservative. But I think you need to stay with the identity that got you here, and that is throw the ball downfield. Don't be afraid to run it to the outside, and just let Malachi Toney do what he does. Get creative with him, and I think Miami's going to be in good shape.
Where the anticipation for this game continues to build here. It'll be Saturday, a noon kick from College Station, Miami in the college football playoff. We'll have it for you right here on WQAM, of course. I'll get it started 8 a.m. with Brian Monroe. We'll do a little countdown to kickoff. Then Josie, DBJ, and Josh will have the call for you. And Donno will handle the post-game duties. So we'll have wall-to-wall coverage for you. By the way, man, I got to give Don Bailey Jr. a big shout-out. He was inducted into the Miami Lakes Sports Hall of Fame over the weekend.
Wow. I didn't know that. Good for Don.
Yeah, man. Could not happen to a better person. Don is the absolute best, and thank you. I'm just very, very happy to see Don get the honor there that he did very well deserved. So very happy for our guy DBJ. Nobody better to work with, Donno, than DBJ, and I don't know that anyone gets more fired up over Canes football than DBJ.
Maybe Mario Cristobal, and that's even just a maybe. Like, I'm not even sure.
He's going to need to be held back in that booth on Saturday. When that thing hits around noon on Saturday, that guy's going to be bouncing off the walls, man. That's going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to it coming up here on Saturday on WQAM. All right, we got a football game tonight. We got a big one. Dolphins on the road taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can the narratives be put to a close here tonight? We will talk to Joe Rose when we come back. He will join us from Pittsburgh. That is coming up next on WQAM.
Right now is Truck Month at your South Florida Chevy dealers. And
Now time to go back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM on this Monday morning. It is time to head right out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com. Hollywood, Donno, Dan Day with you. We bring in now live from Pittsburgh, Joe Rose. Joe, good morning. Welcome aboard here. And
Woody,
quiet day in the NFL yesterday.
Oh my God, how much fun was that? I mean, that was just absolutely crazy. Just some great finishes. Everybody's curious to see how the old man was going to play in his first game back in 5 years out in Seattle. Just, yeah, man, it was just great story after great story. And all the teams that needed to win as far as getting in the playoffs, that thing's starting to look pretty solid there, especially in the AFC right now with the wins we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot about that Buffalo and New England game, and that more than lived up to the hype. And kind of pair that, Joe, Buffalo wins that game, and Kansas City gets eliminated. Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL, which we'll get to in a moment with that one. But the path for Buffalo, I don't know that it's ever going to get easier to finally get over the hump and get to a Super Bowl here.
I don't know about easy, but I got you. Listen, Denver looked really good again yesterday, man. They get after it. They're 12-2. They've won 11 straight. But you're right. For Buffalo, they got to be looking at this. Although they've got some problems on that team, it's not perfect. But boy, I'll tell you what. If there's one quarterback that puts a team on his back more than Josh Allen, somebody's going to have to show me right now. It's doing more for his team, down 21-0 on the road, and come out in that second half and just scored basically every time he had the football. It's just incredible.
Joe, you mentioned the old man. We saw 44-year-old who had been retired for 5 years, Phillip Rivers, suit back up. You had some senior moments for him, but he did put together what would have been a game-winning drive had his defense gotten the memo. I mean, what was it like watching Rivers 5 years out of the game actually go out there and give his team a chance yesterday?
Yeah, get rid of the ball quickly. Don't take hits. Hey, guys up front, man, we need to have a little bit of a running game here, and let's not get sloppy here and keep the old guy going. But hey, he made a few throws. Again, you haven't played in that long, and you haven't been in camp in 5 years, and you show up 3 days, and they go, all right, you're going to Seattle, and you're going to start. And oh, by the way, we need you, man, or we're in big trouble. And don't get hurt, because it was an incredible story. And Seattle, shockingly, did not score a touchdown, had to kick all field goals in that game, including a friggin' long one at the end of the game to win it. So almost would have been the story of the day yesterday if somehow the Colts with a 44-year-old quarterback are able to win that game.
Well, Joe, the reason we have that quarterback playing is because there's been a lot of injuries at the quarterback position, and none more costly for the NFL's business than Patrick Mahomes going down. They were running that promo for their Christmas Day games, and Mahomes is front and center on that one, obviously, but that is a huge loss for football. We see him go down with that ACL.
Well, he's like Josh Allen. They're just so durable. The last thing you ever think about is those guys, the hits they take, and they're gamblers. They'll go a little longer on, especially the bigger the game. We talk about this all the time. The really good quarterbacks take off and run more than usual at the end of the season, or try to keep plays alive. And it caught up to him. You saw that thing bend as he was going down. It looked awkward. And right away, I think we all probably had negative thoughts about the outcome of that was not going to be good. And they weren't playing well in that game again. They were struggling, just struggling to get first downs. It was just you know, you're going, wow, is there some way they can win this or at least kick a field goal at the end of the game, which Minshew comes in and makes a bad throw to his tight end, should have never thrown it there. But, yeah, man, that's a big loss. And, hey, I'm guessing they weren't headed to the playoffs the way they're playing. Again, they're struggling. And a lot of work needs to be done on that offense. But you're right. You know, you're maybe your best product, individual product you have in the league, or one that people like to watch because he can do so many things, is now down for the season. But I thought even during that game, San Diego's kind of controlling it, even with that 3-point lead, and I went, wow. San Diego. LA's going to go on and win this friggin' game.
Joe, you're in Pittsburgh.
At least I didn't do the Commanders one. That other one with the Commanders,
yeah,
notorious for.
It's cancellation when you do that.
Yeah.
Be another one.
Joe, I'm curious your take on tonight. Dolphins are going to try to extend their winning streak to 5. Up there in the chilly temperatures, I saw them get a practice in the snow. The pictures and videos out of that looked pretty awesome. But what's it going to take, Joe, for the Dolphins tonight? They're 3-point underdogs. What has to happen tonight for the Dolphins to get the win at the Pittsburgh Steelers?
These guys are talking about, and this is something we're not used to, but it's just about what they've been doing really well, and that's being physical and controlling the line of scrimmage, able to run the ball the way they've run it the last 4 weeks against this Pittsburgh defense, which has struggled the last couple of games to stop the run, giving up over 200 yards against the Bills and the Ravens in each game. I think this team feels they can run the ball, and I expect a heavy dose. Not just HN, but running the ball. If they can run it between 30 or 40 times, 30 to 40 runs tonight, I think they feel really good about it. And I think that Steelers are not very good in all the big stats. They don't run the ball well. They haven't stopped the run here recently because of injury. They got a lot of guys banged up, which nobody wants to hear about. And I just think the way that the young guys are playing in run defense right now, and the fact that Mike Tomlin's offense is only running the ball for under 90 yards a game, that's just not Steelers football. I just think they're thinking about being physical. Their whole message is this is not about anything else except if we're physical with this team and we play the way we've been playing, we should win this game. And that's their whole mindset. It's been all business up here with these guys too, man. They get it. I think Mike sent the message. We came up early on this trip, and he went out and practiced on a Friday night. Would you like to go, Joe? No? I think I'll wait. Let me know how that practice is. I want to hear all about it when you get back to the hotel. But they went out there for a 2-hour practice, practiced again yesterday in a walkthrough. And so he's he's aware of, as they say, the narrative that they haven't been able to win. I know you guys beat it up. Everybody's talked about it since Mike McDaniel's been here. Late in the season against a playoff caliber team on the road in cold weather, can you win? And so he switched some things up. And I was told he's done a lot of those things. Those were all him. Like he thought about different things we can do. He came in a day earlier. He wanted those guys to not just show up at game time and feel whatever it's going to be, 8, 9, 10 degrees, 11 degrees with wind chill factor, probably going to be under 10. He wanted those guys to feel it. And so they got a nice cold one on Friday night.
Joe Rose here with us on QAM. Joe, I'm just curious what you think, and you've been around the team the last few days here. What would a win mean for this team and this franchise if they're able to go up there and get this one here? And again, you talk about the narratives. This has been, you can't beat good teams and you can't beat them in the cold. So it's a double narrative game here for the Dolphins. But what would a win mean for this franchise? As again, they've seemingly turned their season around here with the wins that they've been able to get. But this one would be a little bit different, I think. What would this mean for them?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's listen. There's a few things for Dolphin fans that need to be knocked out here, and they can't do it this year. They're not going to win the AFC East. They're probably, it's a long shot to make the playoffs right now, and they didn't get any help the last 2 weeks, which is what happens when you get off to a 1-6 start. This team did it to itself. There were some winnable games out there, and they let them slip away. And then they had a couple games that got blown out by bad teams, or one bad team in Cleveland. And so a lot of this stuff. But to get back after a 1-6 start, all they've been talking about privately is getting back to 7-7, and let's take the next 2 back home and see what happens, and learn how to win in cold weather on the road. So I don't have to hear about that. Beat the Buffalo Bills at home. They did that. Buffalo had been dominating them, and they kicked them around to kind of get this thing kick-started after that Ravens ugly loss. And so it means a lot. I mean, again, for this group, it means a lot. In the bigger picture, I'm still with guys going, yeah, but geez, man, look at us. Here we go again. Probably going to end up, for people worried about that first-round pick, we're going to be right outside the playoff teams making that pick if this continues. And so there is, there's a little frustration from that standpoint for this group. And to be able to come back, there's a lot of pride. And more importantly, for these coaches who got these guys playing hard, there's a really good chance Mike and this coaching staff, they get this win tonight. Boy, it goes a long, long way if they win this game tonight, and everybody's staying around for another year.
Yeah, and Joe, you took the words right out of my mouth when it comes to McDaniel, because obviously at the time when Greer was let go, a lot of folks were saying, okay, but what happens next with Mike, assuming he's on the hot seat. But I'm guessing, Joe, that McDaniel has gone a long way these past several weeks to show Stephen Ross he has not lost his locker room, and to the contrary, he may actually be capable of rallying these troops and getting the best out of these guys.
Yeah, Donno, you're exactly right. And he's playing the kind of football he wants. Hey, he's done something else I think we've seen over the last few weeks. Tua is not throwing it well. He goes to the run. That thing got a little stagnant last week against the Jets there for a couple of series, and they were throwing it, and it got a little sticky in there with some throws that could have been intercepted. And Mike goes back late in that game and says, all right, Jalen Wright, get ready. You're going to carry the football a lot. Achane's out at your so he's like all in on winning games right now. This is not about trying to make Tua look good and getting certain stats, and it's about what's best for this football team right now and winning games, and that's what he's done. So Tua's numbers are way down. Running is way up, and they found a formula with the run blocking, some of the best run blocking we've had maybe since Mike's been here. And so that's where it is. And defensively, they're zoned into what Anthony Weaver's doing. And the other part of this is as healthy as I've seen this football team in a long time, man. They're not losing guys every week. And that hadn't been the case over the last few weeks. And hey, listen, we saw it again yesterday. 2 of the best players, Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons, probably out for the season. And, you start losing guys like that late in the year, you're in trouble. And so for the Dolphins, when the worst thing you have to worry about is Achane's ribs and he says, I'm ready to go, you're in pretty good shape.
All right, Joe, the Dolphins come into this one 3-point underdogs. It's time. I think I know which way you're leaning on this one, but it is time to give us your pick here.
I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Steelers are going to, they've got Mike Tomlin, who's on a hot seat, which is really weird. I paused to even say it, but I think he is starting to feel a little bit of heat. But I like this Dolphins team, man. It's the first time in a long time we've been able to run the ball, stop the run, get a lot of takeaways. And this is the kind of game tonight where the ball's going to be on the ground a lot and big hits in this kind of weather. And so, yeah, I like the Dolphins in this game tonight to keep going, man. It's a confident group right now, and they're healthy, and there's a little something to this group. So I like them. I do. I like them to win this game tonight on Monday Night Football. By the way, nobody's better than Monday Night Football than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their record is ridiculous. It's like it's shocking. Did I see they've won 21 straight Monday Night Football? That can't be right. I think somebody tried to tell me they went 21 straight. I know I don't know if it's that, but I do know Mike Tomlin's 21-4 on Monday Night Football. How about that? Crazy numbers.
Well, we'll see if the Dolphins can find a way to get this one done and a handful of narratives. And Joe, I got to let you know when you get back. I know you'll be back with us tomorrow. We got to jump right into this. Miami is 5 days away from heading to College Station to play the football playoff. So we got that going on this week as well, which I know that we're all very fired up for.
By the way, according to Google AI, Joe, at 22, if I'm reading this right, 22 consecutive wins on Monday Night Football for the Steelers.
That's amazing. That's unbelievable. I thought I was told that stat. I knew they had a great record overall with Mike Tomlin on Monday Night Football, like ridiculous. And I was like, there's no way. Somebody had to go on the road and lose somewhere, didn't they? Yeah, that's impressive. But hey, man, this Steeler team doesn't. I've been telling Woody, I just not sold on this group. And hey, good win for the Ravens yesterday. They kicked Cincinnati around pretty good. And so, hey, we got all these different divisions on both AFC and NFC. God, we're going to have some wild finishes over the next couple of weeks, man. It's great. So, and then we got the University of Miami and trying to beat Texas A&M. And it's an early one, so I can stay awake and watch the whole thing. I can't wait.
Perfect for you, Joe. Well, yeah, we'll jump into that game as we continue on through the week. Certainly looking forward to that. And have a great call out there tonight. Enjoy the cold and stay warm. All right, don't get sick on us this time. All right.
I'm going to go work on the coffee right now, there, guys, and I'll see you in the morning. I think we get in somewhere after that de-icing job that's going to be done on that plane tonight. Should be in. It might be right at showtime, Woody, but I get there as early as I can. I'll see you.
Sounds good, Joe. All right, Joe Rose
Thanks,
here
Joe.
This morning on QAM as he is in Pittsburgh, and he will be back with us tomorrow. He's coming straight off the plane, man. Gotta love the old work ethic there from Joe. All right, Omar Kelly is going to join us as we continue on. He's going to stop by at 8 o'clock. We got a lot of other stuff that we're going to hit on here this morning. We got a Heisman winner, a local Heisman winner. Very cool story from the weekend. And, man, just a loaded day of stories in the NFL. No shortage of storylines after yesterday. And, of course, the Dolphins getting set to play tonight on Monday Night Football. So we'll get to all that, and we'll get into some of that Kane stuff as well. We got Donno with us here, so we got to use you while we got you here, Donno. We're going to jump into to some Canes and A&M talk as we continue on as well here on this Monday morning on QAM.
Okay. Baptist Health South Florida, man, I got to tell you, what a sports medicine program they have put together. One of the tops in the country. And, boy, those doctors are going to be busy because they're going to have to look and give physicals to some guys to see if they can make it through the season. But let's get into how they can help us. Let's get selfish about this. Yeah, they take care of Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, FIU, FAU, high school, college, and professional athletes, not just here in South Florida, all over the country, man. They put together an all-star team of specialists for every part of the body, knee, shoulder, foot, and ankle, hand specialists, back specialist, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. You can go on and on. Not to mention all the team doctors that will start with the team doctors and work you right to those specialists to make sure you get taken care of quickly and get you healthy. This is what they do for a living, man. Their reputation is on the line every day to make sure they do great work, and they really do. It's a great group. It's an all-star lineup of doctors. Hey, listen, we got 3 great facilities. Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, at Hard Rock Stadium right next to the training facility. You can go there. Or you can go up Broward County, 595 in Pine Island in Plantation. So easy to get to. I don't care if you're coming from the east,
event. Get
Said I wanna talk to you for a little while, but before I make my move, my emotions start running wild. My tongue gets tied.
All right, welcome back in here on WQAM on this beautiful Monday morning. It's nice and cool outside here as we get set to start a very busy week in our little world of sports here. We got just about everything going on here. We got Heat basketball. We got hockey. Panther hockey. What else do we got, Donna? We got a playoff game going on Saturday with a little bit of meaning there. We got the Dolphins playing tonight. So a lot of stuff going on here. I'm Hollywood. Donno is with us here this morning. Dan Day and Jamie driving the program. Dan Day will have Dolphin post game for you coming up on QAM this evening. So Dan working the double shift, man, the morning and the night for all day Dan Day here. A busy one for you, my man, Dan. Appreciate you coming in this morning with us.
5 a.m., baby. That's what we do.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Hey, I got to ask you guys this. I don't know if you guys are into this or saw this or care about this. Did you guys catch John Cena and in his final match on, I think it was Saturday night, right? Was that when I saw that? Anyway, I don't know if you guys caught that. I'm gonna just give a spoiler alert, right? In case you have this thing sitting on the DVR, you haven't watched it yet. Are you guys okay with this if I tell you and discuss what happened here?
I am perfectly okay with you spoiling John Cena's final match for me.
So they have him going against this guy named Gunther, this big, whatever. He's like an army guy or something.
The guy who does the slaps, right? I've seen him.
Yeah. Gunther, whatever they call him. Anyway. Cena loses the match, his final match ever. This is it for him, and he gets choked out. You could see him kind of smile as he's getting choked out at the end here, but he taps out and he loses. And they started showing the crowd. First of all, so I'm watching it with my son, who's just he's stunned that they would let this guy, and he thinks it's. I haven't told him it's I haven't told him about the truth of wrestling. But they let the guy lose in his final match, and I just thought it was kind of wild. They brought out all these wrestling Hall of Famers, and they all sent that, and it was a cool send off. It was really a nice way that they did it, but I just thought that was pretty crazy that they let the guy lose in his final match.
Isn't that kind of a tradition though? When the great ones, they go out by putting somebody over. It's so now so supposedly now Gunther gets some extra shine from beating Cena in his final match. I feel like that's a wrestling tradition.
Yeah, I don't, Donno, I haven't watched it in a while. I watched it when I was young, and I did not watch it for a while. And now my son is into it, and it's on Netflix. This one was on Peacock, so I've been kind of been watching it a little bit here with my son.
My son was into it for 2 months, so it was weird. He got really into it, and then I guess he just found the next thing. But maybe he'll come back to it because for a hot second, it was right around the last WrestleMania, whenever that was last year or earlier this year. He really got into it, and then I don't know, he found the next shiny object, I guess.
So yeah, Heat Colt says I found this whole tribute to Cena a bit too much. I don't know. I kind of, haven't been too involved in wrestling. I haven't been involved at all in wrestling for a long time. I've kind of just gotten back into it. Yeah, man, it was just kind of a cool thing to watch. That I thought that was exciting on Saturday night, amongst many other things. Donno, I will tell you, and I know you are a big college football guy. I cannot find myself getting into these bowl games right now. These low tier bowl games are just not doing it for me. They have opt-outs left and right. Like, nobody is playing in these games. I know ESPN is trying desperately to fill 3.5-hour time slots in the middle of the day. It's an interesting time of year, right? Because there's a lot of days off coming up. But I can't get into these games, man. I don't know about you.
It's a huge problem. We were watching, like I watched, Washington just, slapped Boise State around. We were watching a little bit of Army, Navy. That's just the tradition and the pageantry that comes with that. But yeah, it's so different now, Hollywood. It's like it really that part of the sport has kind of been ruined, and that's one of the reasons why I'm okay with the idea of making the CFP a little bigger if they take it to 16, like they're talking about, just because like the CFP is the only postseason that really means anything now. Like these bowl games, outside of like a handful of teams that don't have a bunch of opt-outs, and obviously it means something to the players who do decide to play in it. But if you're not going to get the big stars playing these bowl games, okay, give me a couple of extra CFP games, because at least nobody's opting out from those.
Somebody hit me with this idea over the weekend, and they were talking about maybe having the bowl games in week 1 instead of having them at the end of the season, because you have some interesting matchups. Unfortunately, again, like there's just nobody, wants to play in these games, and I don't blame you guys, right? Like why? If you're, draftable, if you're, thinking about transferring, if, a number of reasons, any number of reasons, right? Like, why would you really want to be a part of, a game in the middle of December on weekday and, a 2:00 kick, right? It's tough to find, a motivating factor for that. Now, look, if ESPN wants to continue on with these games, the answer may be to just, cough up some money and start giving some of that money, because look, ESPN's putting on these games because they're getting paid, right? That's the reason that they're putting them on. They certainly are selling advertisements. They're getting paid from it. So I don't know, man, maybe it's something where ESPN's just going to have to start forking out some money to these guys.
I'm definitely going to be looking at the end of bowl season, like what the TV ratings are like this year, because it seems like this is going to be the worst year ever. I mean, you have like entire teams opting out of bowl games now, and Notre Dame were not the only ones. Like they were the most high profile case of opting out of a bowl game, but there were like 10 or 11 other teams that were invited and declined their invitations. For a lot of those, it was, teams that are in coaching transition, so they felt like it, just was too difficult for them to play in the game, whatever the reason. Like, you never used to have teams declining bowl bids until recent. I mean, once in a blue moon, but not en masse the way that it's happening now. So I am curious to look, come January, how these games actually performed on television. Are people just going to watch them because they're on, or are people going to figure out, hey, that's not the same team I was watching during the regular season? It's unrecognizable.
And I got to tell you, Don, I got to add this to the whole bowl thing. I am getting really sick and tired of hearing Notre Dame complain.
Oh my God.
I mean, and look, I saw like, Brady Quinn, who, I love Brady Quinn. He was a guest many, many times on our show. I know he does some stuff in the morning now, but I know he lives down here, big Notre Dame guy, but my God, man, like, you're gonna act like Notre Dame gets the short end of the stick, like most times. I mean, are we really gonna do that now? And he was like, the college football playoff is controlled by ESPN and Disney, and it's like, yeah, ESPN does pull a lot of the strings, I'm guessing, when it comes to college football. That's the nature of it. But like, let's not act like Notre Dame is always getting the short end of the stick here, man. Like, I'm getting a little bit tired of hearing Notre Dame fans complain and cry about this thing. Like, did you get screwed? Perhaps. Right, you probably should have gotten in over Alabama, but you most certainly should not have gotten in over Miami. That, to me, shouldn't have been a debate, right? Miami beat you guys, and we got to count week 1. Like, it's just whether week 1 or it's the last week of the season, you still got to count the games if you're going to play these teams head to head. But man, I am Notre Dame. Like, you act like you never catch a break over there.
Yeah, and if anything, like the only argument I guess they would have to complain is that they were ranked in the playoff field right up until they weren't, so they kind of felt like they got strung along. But even I was actually impressed. Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, like he even mentioned, like we're not in it because we didn't take care of our business. I mean, they lost 2 games, and if anything, you talk about getting the short end of the stick, it was the opposite. So Hollywood, they were 0-2, and they were still ranked like number 20 after losing their first 2 games. So if anything, the rankings were manipulated to keep Notre Dame right in that mix until the end. And obviously they went and they won their next 10 games, but they had no business being ranked where they were after an 0-2 start to the season. So they were kept in it artificially. And if they're going to rig the game, why would they rig it against Notre Dame? Because, yeah, objectively, they play in the college football playoff. They're getting TV ratings. People care about them, whether they love them or they hate them. So believe me, the TV networks are not going to go out of their way to keep Notre Dame out. Now, if you want to make that argument for like a BYU, that maybe they don't want BYU in the playoff, then at least I could entertain that conspiracy. But believe me, they are not going out of their way, ESPN, to keep Notre Dame, who can get them a lot of viewers, out of the playoff for any nefarious reason.
Yeah, I mean, look, if anything, Miami's gotten the short end of the stick more than any of these other programs. So, like, as you get, their AD, you know, the ACC was mean to us, and you know,
oh my God, yeah, that was ridiculous.
Relationship, and you know, now they have some BS agreement with, you know, if they're in the top 12, they automatically get in. And I keep seeing that schools are like, all right, screw you guys, we're not going to play you. I hope everyone boycotts Notre Dame. Let Notre Dame play against themselves. They could do a blue and gold game or something every single week for their fans. I mean, it's just enough already, man, with the complaining. Like they're always getting screwed. You know, I get it. You got a raw deal here. You probably should have been in over Alabama, but you know, come on, man. Like let's stop with the crying and the, you know, we're always getting screwed nonsense from Notre Dame. All right, we got to take a pause here. We got a lot more to get to. Omar Kelly's going to join us in about 20 minutes from now as we continue our preview of Dolphins and Steelers. That is coming up this evening on Monday Night Football. We got Canes and Aggies getting set to go Saturday afternoon, right at noon here on WQAM. We'll have it for you. So a lot of stuff to get to as we continue on here on this Monday morning on QAM.
Hey, Atlantic Men's Clinic. I talked about it earlier. I got to tell you one.
$6 IHOP.
Welcome back in here on WQAM as we continue on this Monday morning. Hollywood Donno, Dan Day, Jamie along here with you. Omar Kelly is going to stop by in about 10 minutes from now as we preview Dolphins and Steelers with Omar. We got everyone in action here this evening. This is a busy night here. We got the Panthers in Tampa to take on the Lightning. That's at 7 o'clock on 5:60 a.m. You can catch that one. Doug Plagans, who is one of my favorites, man. I love Doug Plagans. He will have the call there. I don't know if you know this, Donno. Doug Plagans is a huge card nerd.
I do.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew that one, but he's a big card.
Yeah, I remember asking Doug. So I had like during COVID when everything was locked down and I had nothing to do, I found all my old cards when I was a kid, and I was like kind of showing Doug everything I had, and I found out that all my cards were pretty much worthless. Like who would have thought, right? I thought I had great cards, but they were. I found a Mia Hamm soccer rookie card that was worth $22, and I sold it on eBay. Everything else worthless.
Nice. Well, you and I lived through the junk wax era, they call it. There was a lot of that stuff printed. So
yeah,
we missed the glory years, Donno.
Sure did.
But yeah, so we have Panther hockey coming up at 7 at 7:30. Heat and Raptors. That one will air on 104.3 FM. And I got to tell you, this is a big game tonight for the Heat. See if they can snap out of things here, Donno. And at 14-11, Raptors at 15-11. So some playoff positioning. Perhaps it's so early to even mention that, but early season seeding on the line here, I guess, this evening for the Heat. But certainly want to see them try to play a complete game against a good Raptors team. And we'll give out some tickets, by the way, at some point during the show. Whenever Dan Day is ready to do this, we will give away tickets Saturday, December 27th. The Pacers are coming to town to play the Heat. The Pacers, not very good this season, by the way. I know they have lost some players due to injury, but they are at 6-20 on the year. But look, man, those are the games, and I feel like we've said this every year that the Heat are stuck in that play-in tournament. Those are the games you got to win, right? Those are very important for the Heat. So we'll give away tickets to that one as we continue on. And again, our focus as well right now is on this game tonight with the Dolphins and the Steelers. And we're getting a lot of texts are coming in here. So if you'd like, by the way, you can reach us on our YouTube feed here on 104.3 WQAM. You can also text us 305-567-0560, and a lot coming in on this game here, Donno. But look, the bottom line tonight is, can you play? And these narratives are getting old, but can you play in the cold? And can you beat a respectable team in the cold? Now, I know that the Steelers are not, the best team. They're not world beaters. They're sort of an average team, and their coach is on the hot seat. But I still would consider this a win against a good playoff caliber team if the Dolphins are able to find a way to get this one tonight.
Would you like to know Tua Tagovailoa's record in cold weather?
No.
I'll give it to you anyway. So in temperatures below 46 degrees Fahrenheit, and by the way, today is a high of 18. So in Pitt, so I'm assuming nighttime it's going to be more in like the 10 range than 18. Tua in 46 degrees or below is 0-7 all time.
So you're saying take the Steelers?
I mean, I am saying though, I think, and Joe outlined it, and we'll see what Omar has to say about it. But the Dolphins have been winning games lately, not behind Tua. It's been behind their physical play up front, and it's been mostly behind their running game. So honestly, maybe taking that out of Tua's hands may be a good thing tonight, and that may be how you beat that trend. You don't beat that trend with Tua trying to be Superman tonight in 10-degree weather. You beat that behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, we will find out with Omar Kelly how the Dolphins can find a way to get a win. He's going to join us as we continue on here. The 8:00 hour coming up in minutes. We got so many stories going on though, Donno. If you're just joining us, Dan will have his headlines for you. We had two big injuries in the NFL yesterday. Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons both with ACLs. Very, very tough losses, especially the Mahomes one. That really stings. You got a local guy winning the Heisman Trophy. Mendoza gets the Heisman on Saturday. That was an easy pick there, unless you were Skip Bayless. You wanted the guy from Vanderbilt, but that was a pretty easy pick, I thought, with Mendoza winning that thing. But what a great story there, Donno. Just really quick before we had to break.
Yeah, no, tremendous for Mendoza, for South Florida, for Miami Columbus, Christopher Columbus High getting a Heisman winner. And I do not feel bad for Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt, that dude has been completely melting down. Like he had, he F the voters, he said. He's trashing all the other guys who were at the like he has shown his true colors the last couple days, Pavia. This dude went, in the matter of 1 year, went from scrappy underdog to obnoxious D-bag that nobody wants to hear from anymore. So congratulations, Pavia, for showing us who you really are.
Well, somebody I hope that people want to hear from, Omar Kelly. He's going to join us on the other side as we continue on here on this Monday morning on QAM.
Hey, Michael Kotze's working hard, though. Michael Kotze's all
Welcome back in here on WQAM on this Monday morning. It is time to head back out to the Toyota of Hollywood Hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com, where we are joined by Omar Kelly. He is a columnist for the Miami Herald. Columnist, not beat writer, columnist. Omar, good morning. That is look at that hotel room, man. Is that a suite? What do they got you at there, man? That's beautiful.
Just a regular Marriott room, sir. Just a regular Marriott room. I am staying in the same hotel as the Dolphins, which is something that I absolutely hate. It's just
why?
Because you run into too many people, and then you run into fans, and then you're taking a ton of pictures, and it's just weird.
No, you were the players.
Me and the players, yeah.
I know you were talking about yourself.
It's just weird. You coming in hot. What'd you say?
I said I knew you were talking about yourself. I just want to see if you'd stroke your ego a little bit more there.
And bro, when I tell you it is cold here, it is cold. It is cold, like 10 degrees last time I checked.
Ooh. Have you been outside in this? Are you walking around in this, or are you just kind of camped out in that room over there under the covers?
I got here late night. I took the last thing smoking to Pittsburgh just because I was in no rush. I knew whatever situation was going to be full of delays just because of the weather. Anytime it snows or rains, airports act like they can't, take off planes and land planes. So I eventually got here like at 12:30 midnight. And when I tell you, waiting 13 minutes for an Uber at a Uber stop outside, brutal.
You're a tourist guy, though, right? Like, you do touristy things and you go to these cities, right? I don't know what there is to do in Pittsburgh necessarily. I've never been there, so maybe but there's anything good?
There's like Pittsburgh's cool. I've done it a couple of times. There's like a hill. I'm looking outside. There's like Pittsburgh has like a hill.
I went up there on the train to the top of the hill.
Oh yeah. And so you could go up the hill. And there's like bars and clubs and things like that. And that's cool. And then there's a casino by the stadium. So you could either be a degenerate or you can be an adventure guy. Yeah.
Great. So you got either nightclub or casino tonight on tap when after the Dolphins.
It's Monday night, bro. By the time we're finished with that game, it'll be like 2:00 in the morning. I'm
Pittsburgh will be alive and kicking at 2 a.m. on a Monday. Come on, man.
Probably at the casino after the game. You're probably right.
Just like Miami over there. But all right, Omar, let's jump into this game here. And we got Dolphins and Steelers on Monday Night Football. There's a lot to unpack with this game, and clearly you mentioned the weather, and that has been a narrative with this team. And can Tua playing it? The Dolphins certainly made sure to post a picture of Tua throwing in a blizzard on their social media over the weekend.
When they went to practice, yeah, they practiced out there, and they got all the clips that made them look like they were wearing shorts and I went outside. Only thing exposed was my fingertips, and they were burning. Like, these people are crazy. If you don't think the weather is going to impact this game, you are insane. Like, we are South Floridians. Like, we're not built for this.
But just in terms of, do you take any encouragement with the way the team has been playing lately? Because when you talk about going into cold weather, right? Yeah. Running games tend to travel to bad weather, line of scrimmage play. They've been playing really good defense because, Hollywood and I were just talking about, Tua's abysmal record in cold weather, but it's not going to be maybe in his hands as much with the way the team has been playing.
I hate when people present that Tua's abysmal weather. No, it's the Dolphins' abysmal weather. Abysmal record in cold weather. And it didn't just start with Tua. The Dolphins are abysmal in cold weather for 20 years. Don't just put it on Tua. Don't just make it about Tua. Like, the last time this team performed well in cold weather was like the Ricky Williams Blizzard game. Come on. And I was there, by the way. I was there for that. That was an epic ride because we were at Syracuse and we rode I actually in 11.
Well, and didn't they still lose that game? Like Ricky went off, but they still
No,
lost.
no,
I think.
I think they won that game.
Okay.
I think they won that game. But yeah, that was crazy, and we had to walk through like 2 feet of snow just to get to the locker rooms. It's like, you ever had to dig your car out to get somewhere?
Thankfully, no.
De-ice your car. Yeah. This is I try to avoid this so bad, and here we are.
Well, Omar, I think defensively the Dolphins have a good opportunity here to get after these guys. And Aaron Rodgers has certainly been susceptible to a pass rush this year, and he's got knocked around. He has taken some good shots this year. Can the Dolphins get after him? Is that the key defensively? Is getting after Aaron Rodgers, or is there something else you look at? I know they're kind of limited on weapons. You look at this Pittsburgh team. So what do you look at defensively as maybe the key here for the Dolphins?
I think this is going to be a game where you got to run the ball and you got to stop the run, and you got to score when you get those opportunities in the red zone, score touchdowns. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game unless it, and they say it's going to warm up. Unless it warms up, this is going to be an ugly game. This is just going to be an ugly game. I've come here so many times in these elements, and it's usually an ugly game. Who remembers the playoff game in 2016 that's Matt Moore started? They opening drive, the Dolphins wore the wrong cleats and literally could not change directions. And all you did was after the first drive or first 2 drives, you saw the entire defense change their cleats just because Antonio Brown kept running circles around them, and they were stuck in the condition. The field is just, I think Eric Studzville, the running back coach, he in Hard Knocks, he advised his players or something like that, where it looks green, but it's painted dirt. And it's absolutely true. It is painted dirt. So I've been on that field after the game, and it's hard, it's frozen, and it's dirt.
Has this, winning streak, and we hope it continues tonight, of course, that the Dolphins are on. How much has this, and maybe there was never a hot seat for Mike McDaniel, but to the fan base, it certainly felt that way. Has this changed the temperature of his seat, and how drastically?
Absolutely. It's turned it down a little bit. I think certainly if he wins, you might as well put some ice cubes on that thing. But this is going to be such a monumental, paramount game, because if they win it, then we can't say that that's so Dolphins. If they lose it, we can say that's so Dolphins. Here we go again. Can't beat a good team. Can't beat a team on the road. Playoff, even though they've got like a 2% chance of making the playoffs, you lose tonight, done. Season done. But for Mike, the fact that these players have never quit on him, the fact that they've created a new identity for themselves, the fact that all of the weaknesses are now strengths for the team in terms of the defensive line. They're stopping the run, that's setting the table for everything else. Offensive line, they're running the ball. They're paving. They've got one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL. And the team changed their identity. That's beneficial to Mike. I think you clearly are seeing he's a lot more comfortable now. However, if they don't, to me, if they go 8-9, it's same old, same old. It's the status quo. For me, the change would be you win this game, you continue to finish out the season strong, beating Cincinnati, beating New England, and somebody else, Tampa Bay, and get to 9-8. And you can't say that's the typical Dolphins. That's a strong finish. And I think if he does that, he'll be back. But truth be told, Steve Ross does not like the hiring process. He's already going to have to hire a GM. The only thing that I think that's a problematic is you're going to turn off some GMs if you say to him, yeah, you got to accept this coach and this quarterback. You got to let them be here for one more year. We've gone through the process where four GM candidates turned Steve Ross down which is how you ended up with Dennis Hickey. And then a year later, you ended up with Mike Tannenbaum leapfrogging Dennis Hickey after joining the team as a consultant. You don't want to do that again. Let's try not to, but we don't do wise things around here.
Omar Kelly here with us. Omar, before we get your prediction for tonight's matchup, I just want to get your take on some of this other stuff. Boy, what a day in the NFL yesterday. Yeah, the Bills and Patriots, that game lived up to the hype, and Josh Allen put the Bills on his back once again. And out there in the AFC, we're talking quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes. What a disaster for the NFL to see Patrick Mahomes go down with an ACL right after they were playing all that stuff, hyping up the Christmas game for the Chiefs. And man, a big difference when you
eliminated too. Chiefs are eliminated before the Miami Dolphins. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, pretty amazing. But what a blow for the NFL to see. Hey, man, it's amazing how many quarterbacks have gotten hurt this year. I mean, we have Phillip Rivers playing out there in Indy. Mahomes is done for the season. It's just really remarkable how many quarterbacks have gotten banged up.
Down. The kid from Washington has been down. The kid from Houston was down. He's up. Lamar
has been hurt this season.
Lamar's been but Tua's completely healthy. We think Tua's completely healthy. Hey, we're about to have our second season with a completely healthy Tua. Now he does not look the same, and there might be an issue that we're not addressing, and nobody will acknowledge. I wrote a column in the Miami Herald, and I stand on this, and you'll love this, Hollywood. Time for no more excuses for Tua. We need, in these final 4 games, we need to see some semblance of the 2024 Tua, because that guy just does not look like himself anymore. And he looks like he's aged 5 years in one season. And I have a hard time believing that it's fixable, but you need to give me some proof of life. Like we got to have, or we're going to have to start and draft the quarterback early in 2026.
Yeah, the problem is that we don't know what it is, right? I mean, we don't know what's going on with Tua. We've been talking about on the morning show for a while now, and yes, clearly something is not right. But none of us know what that is. Is it some sort of mental block that he's concerned about, getting knocked out again? Is he, is there an injury?
It's absolutely physical, because he cannot even move anymore. And that's just stunning and shocking. Yes, you're nobody's going to lose Tyreek Hill and just all of a sudden, have, not feel it. But Tua's just missing on regular throws. Tua's always had sensational pocket presence. He no longer has that. He's always had some level of mobility where he can run out of the pocket and get you a first down. He can't even do that anymore. And we were a month into the season where he acknowledged, I can't move like I used to move. My ankles, I don't know if it's arthritis in the ankles. I don't know if it's a hip issue. The throws that aren't there. Tua used to be able to throw an out. Now, I don't even know if Mike McDaniel would ever call an out, a throw for Tua. Everything is just short, and it's dink and dunk, and it's timing and it's precision, and he has no chemistry with the weaponry around him. So I'm not blaming this on the weaponry. I'm not blaming this on the offensive line. I'm not blaming it on play calling. What's going on offensively, I'm not blaming it on changing the identity. Tua just does not look like himself anymore.
Well, on that note, Omar, we will tell you to enjoy the game tonight. And if you don't hit those late night spots, those clubs or the casino, maybe we can get you on tomorrow and get your recap. Joe will be back with us. I know you will still be stuck in that hotel room, but maybe you can come on with us tomorrow morning if you don't mind.
All right, no problem, bro.
All right, Omar, thank you.
No casino for me tonight. Nah,
no,
I'll be headed straight to my hotel, straight there. It's warm in here.
All right, get back
on that warmth for sure.
I got it on 75 over here, baby.
Beautiful. All right, Omar, thank you for the time. Appreciate it, my friend.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, Omar Kelly from the Miami Herald, kind enough to join us here this morning. We're going to take a pause. A lot more to get to here on QAM. We'll get into some Canes talk. We got Donno with us here this morning. Donno, the host of the Locked On Canes podcast. So Miami is 5 days away from taking on Texas A&M in the college football playoff. We got a lot of NFL news. All of our local teams, it seems like, are in action tonight. The Heat are playing. The Panthers are playing. We got Heat tickets to give away. So we got a lot of stuff that we're going to do here coming up on this beautiful Monday morning here on QAM.
Hey, let's talk about Beverly's Jewelers.
When you wake up in the morning and the light has hurt your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed.
Welcome back in here on WQAM. Hope everyone's having a great start to their Monday. Hollywood Donno, Dan Day along here with you. Donno, we got a playoff game coming up in 5 days from now as the Miami Hurricanes getting set to head to College Station to take on Texas A&M. You said it to start the show, biggest game in probably a shade over 20 years for the Miami Hurricanes, and well-deserved here, man. Very happy to see them have this level of success. And, man, I mean, we've seen it now carry over into recruiting. I don't know what the transfer portal is going to look like here for them this year, but, Donno, they have this thing rolling. And, you know, we've seen in college football with a lot of different programs, once you get it rolling, it's definitely easier to maintain, right? And we've seen with some of the SEC powerhouses, the question now for Miami is, can they keep this thing going? And, you know, all signs are pointing to that the recruiting is there. The transfer portal will be there. And you got some guys returning. And, you know, one of those guys, Malachi Tony, I'll tell you, if you're a quarterback and they go, well, you know, that'll be your number one, I think it's quite a selling point here for the university. But Donno, this thing seems to be really rolling right now for the Canes.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence they're at this point where they've got consecutive 10-win seasons, and this time around they get into the playoff because they have been building this roster. Like, this is not a fluky, double-digit wins, may never happen again. They've been stacking top 10 recruiting classes. By and large, they've hit more home runs in the portal than struck out. There's obviously not every single player they brought in the portal has worked out, but the majority of them have, including the 2 portal quarterbacks that you brought in for the past couple of years. And that's something they may address again this year, Hollywood. The portal is going to be extra crazy this year because you just get the one January window now. You don't get the spring portal as well. You just get about a 2-week period in January, and we're already seeing some players kind of announcing their intentions to hit the portal. Sam Leavitt, the quarterback at Arizona State, who I think is going to be the top target for a handful of teams. And you know, I can't confirm he's a Miami target. I just assume he will be. That's Donno's take on that one. But Sam Leavitt is in the portal. Some other top quarterbacks may enter. And like you said, Hollywood, if you're trying to sell your program to a star portal quarterback, I think you start with Malachi Tony. You get to throw the football to him. You get to play behind, you know, what should be one of the better offensive lines in the country again. I know they're going to lose some of the key guys from this year, like CeCe Mauinoa and Inez Cooper. Maybe they can keep Markel Bell for next year. That would be big. You throw Jackson Cantwell into that unit. They should be really good again next year. So I think what Mario Cristobal is building here is sustainable. You know, and of course, we hope they go out and win a national championship this year. But regardless of how they do in the playoffs, I think you're looking at a roster that should be really good for years to come because they've been building the roster the right way.
Donno, I saw a tweet over the weekend. I don't know if you saw this. Pete Thamel sent this out. It says, sources, South Carolina star quarterback Lenora Sellers is nearing a deal to return to the school for his redshirt junior year in 2026. He's indicated the staff will be returning. The sides are expected to finalize a deal soon. Now, I remind you, as Dan Day shakes his head at this tweet, this is a college quarterback, and he is agreeing to terms with a college. That is not a pro tweet. That is not an Adam Schefter tweet. Where are we, man? What has happened to college football?
We've reached free agency. That's where we're at now. And there was a player from USC as well that, like, the headline was re-signed with USC to remain with the Trojans. So this is basically full on free agency now. And you know what? You know, and I would expect something similar is going to happen with Malachi Tony down here because I don't think he's leaving, but I do think he probably deserves a raise based on the way Tony has played. But I don't want to see that headline. I want that to be done quietly. I don't want to see like Malachi Tony re-signs with just keep the roster together, retain your star players, take care of business. But Yeah, the Lenora Sellers thing, and which was a quarterback people were, Todd McShay had kind of linked him. Maybe he'll end up going to Miami, right? There was nothing internal there, but externally, Lenora Sellers was linked to Miami. I'm not surprised he's staying at South Carolina because he and his dad grew up, big South Carolina Gamecocks fans. But but you're right. The headlines are ludicrous now to basically see free agent signings coming out now. It's crazy.
And while Dan is in there shaking his head, Dan, you're from Louisiana, you're from New Orleans, and your LSU, that team might be the biggest offenders of this whole thing with what they did with Lane Kiffin bringing him in, and I don't know what they're going to do over there, how much money they're going to spend on players, but I'm guessing they will be second to none over there with the money they've spent on a coach.
Well, they're paying 3 coaches right now, so that kind of starts the ball rolling on who they'll pay for what.
Yeah, Coach O has one more check coming this month. One more.
It has gotten amazing. What the coaches are making is one thing, and that is crazy. But the buyouts have gotten even crazier in college football. Like it's basically at this point, don't you just want to get fired? It's almost more lucrative to just get fired than to not just take the next job that pops up, right? I mean, look at James Franklin. Like Franklin gets fired from Penn State, and he ends up at that didn't take long, by the way. Ends up at Virginia Tech. But these guys, they get fired. They get these insane buyouts. You're almost better off.
I'm pretty sure that's what Mike Norvell is doing in Tallahassee. Like he's trying to get fired. Like he fires the best assistant coach on his staff, Pat Surtain. Like when they lost to the 4-8 Gators, they didn't even try to win that game. Like I'm pretty sure Norvell is like, please fire me. I can't win here. It's too late. The ship has sailed. Just buy me out. But they won't do it.
Boy, that thing has turned into a complete mess over in Tallahassee. What do they owe him, Don? Was it $50 million or something they'd owe that guy if he were to walk?
57, something like that, 57, 58. And if they were to, if you buy him out, you have to buy out other people from his staff. So it would be north of 60 to fire him. And then you've got to hire your next coaching staff. So you're talking about more than $100 million to fire Norvell and bring in the next coach. That's why he's begging them, please give me the $57 million. Just make me go away. But they won't do it.
Well, the question for LSU, Dan, too, is can they find a way to say that Kelly was fired with cause, right? Because obviously he's fighting that thing. They owe him a boatload of cash over there. But can they try to find a way? Or does he get another job? Does somebody take another chance at Brian Kelly? I think he is just a complete mutant. But I don't know. Maybe they find a way to get him another job out there.
There's always a need for a coach, so he might be able to get another job. But I think in his case, if he takes another job, the buyout goes away. So why would you get another job when you get paid to do nothing? So
well, he should go to Michigan. Like things are so bad at Michigan. That's the only school you could say that they could improve the character of their head coaching position by hiring Brian Kelly. Like that would be a step up for them.
Boy, that thing is ugly, man. Did you see over the weekend, or maybe it was Friday, whenever it was, they had Sharon Morg he was sitting in like I don't know,
padded cell,
or something or other, and they had him. He was talking to a judge and getting arraigned, and man, that thing is what a mess. That thing is in Michigan. By the way, another program that has no shortage of money coming in. So,
the quarterback's going to LSU.
Yeah. I saw that.
All the money, as they say.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I think Stephen Ross is like he's pretty high up on the totem pole over there. If you've ever been to Ann Arbor, his name's on every building when you drive by that campus. So I'm guessing Michigan will be just fine. But right now, look, Miami is sitting in such a great position, and they get a chance to go and play Texas A&M in the opening round of the playoffs. Should they get past Texas A&M? My gosh, they will get a matchup with Ohio State. That we're not going to jump the gun. We're going to focus on Saturday. 1-0 is the goal. All right, we're going to take a pause. We got a lot more to go here on QAM. If you have anything for us, you can jump in on the chat on YouTube. 1043 WQAM is where we are streaming. You can also text us 305-567-0560. And Dan, how about we give away those? Do you want to give away those Heat tickets either in the next segment or in the 9 o'clock segment? So Dan will decide He's got his Dolphins shirt on. He got Dolphins postgame coming up this evening on QAM. So we got a lot more to get to as we continue on here on QAM.
Hey, I got to tell you right now about the
Cadillac. Get the most out of the South Florida lifestyle in a new Cadillac from Williamson Cadillac. New models are arriving daily at Williamson. This means Williamson Cadillac is sure to have the new vehicle you're looking for. The CT4, CT5, XT5, XT6, and the new all-electric Lyric. Get the most out of the South Florida lifestyle in a new Cadillac from your luxury dealership located on US 1 just south of the Palmetto. Williamson Cadillac. Williamson is Miami.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you.
I want to thank Joe for stopping by here with us. As for Dolphins and Steelers, we have more to come. Omar Kelly from the Miami Herald. He is going to join us next here on WQAM.
Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you
All
want
right,
for your
Omar
business.
Kelly from the Miami Herald. I want to thank our entire crew here today. Jamie, Dan, Day, Donno, I'm Hollywood. I hope everyone has a great Monday. Enjoy the Dolphins and Steelers. Talk to you again tomorrow morning. Token Leader coming next.
Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Welcome back in here on WQAM. Hope everyone's having a great start to their week here on this Monday morning. Hollywood Donno, Dan Day along here with you. We got a busy one here on QAM today. just to set the table for you, we got the Heat coming up. They are going to play the Raptors at 7:30. That game you can catch right here on 104.3 WQAM. The Panthers and Lightning game, that starts at 7. That will air on 5:60 a.m. We are going to have an abbreviated Hawk Crowder and Solana from 2 to 4. We'll have Game Day Uncensored, our pregame show, coming up at 4 o'clock here today. So they'll take you for about 3 hours leading up until the Dolphins and Steelers. And then Dan Day will be working the graveyard shift here this evening. He'll be taking your calls after Dolphins and Steelers. And if for none other reason than I want Dan Day to have a pleasant post game, that would be a good route for the Dolphins here tonight. I always, Donno, I always think of you and when we watch these Canes games, because I used to do the post game show, and I know things can get a little vicious from time to time. Now, luckily for you, you've had 2 back-to-back 10-win seasons. So things have been a little lighter on the post game for the Canes, but I can only imagine Dan's Dolphins post game shows might get. And I've listened to a handful of them, Dan, and they might get a little messy from time to time. But we'll see how this one goes tonight, and I'm hoping for the best, if nothing else, Dan, so that you have a pleasant post game, my friend. I just want you to get some good calls tonight.
I think we're going to be good tonight, but if things go south, it's going to be good either way, no matter what. Yeah. There's different types of good, but it's going to be good either way.
No,
it's funny because I did the first game, like the first regular season game, post game. I filled in for Dan, and that was the loss to Indy. It was such a bad loss that it ended up we had loaded phones for the 3 or 4 hours, however long it was that I was on, where it was a full on vent session. So I mean, they lost so badly that I'm a Dolphin fan, so I didn't have fun. I won't say I had fun, but it was a very easy post-game show because the people had a lot to say.
Boy, look, the team's come a long way since then, but that game was so disappointing, right? I mean, you go into the season thinking, all right, we're at least equal to the Colts, right? Maybe we lose in a tight one, on the road to start the season, but man, we're right in there with these guys. Daniel Jones, they're not going to win any games, and all of a sudden, the Dolphins get just smashed in that opener, and things did not improve for a while. But hey, man, the Chris Greer curse has apparently been lifted here, and the Dolphins heading into Pittsburgh tonight, just 3-point underdogs. So that spread is right there, man. Essentially a pick'em game, right by a field goal here as the Dolphins try to keep things going here and keep playoff hopes alive. And it's very, very unlikely that they will get into the playoffs, but nevertheless, you still want to see if they can end some of the narratives and go out and find a way to win this one. Speaking of going out to Pittsburgh, Joe Rose stopped by a couple hours ago. Joe's an early morning guy, so we'll replay that for you, run that back for you, get Joe's take on the game and everything in the 9 o'clock hour here. And then Dan, we got these tickets to give away. So do you want to let's see, we could do that now, or do you want to do it in the 9 o'clock segment? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. So what do you want to do? Do you want to tease people and just tell them it's coming up in the 9 o'clock?
Yeah, stay tuned for the 9 o'clock hour and your chance to win some Heat tickets.
There you go. That's how you keep people around. All right. We'll give away Heat tickets in the next segment. Heat and Pacers on December the 27th. We'll have those for you. Dan is going to figure out some sort of way to give those away. So we'll do that when we come back. We'll also hear from Joe, get his thoughts on tonight's matchup. Dolphins and Steelers. The 9 o'clock hour is next on QAM.
Right now is Truck Month at your South Florida Chevy dealers. And I want to let you know it's a good time if you're a truck person.
Welcome back in on WQAM. Happy Monday to everyone. It is Monday Night Football, Dolphins and Steelers. Hollywood Donno, Dan Day along here with you. If you missed our conversation with Joe, we're going to get to that. We'll run that back for you. It was early this morning, so we'll run that back for you in a few minutes from now. First things first, Dan Day, you have tickets to give away. You are the keeper of the tickets here this morning. So what would you like to do? Would you like to do caller number, whatever number? You could choose a number, you could do trivia, whatever it is that you want to do, Dan.
I'd like to put you to work. Do you have a trivia question that you'd like to ask someone?
Wow.
Talk about putting him on the spot.
It is the Pacers, and I got to tell you, those games between the LeBron Heat and the Paul George Pacers were so much fun. I got one for you. How about you tell me who the big man was on those Pacers teams? Very disliked. Nobody down here liked him. I want to say he wore number 55. If you could tell us who the big man was for those Pacers teams, we'll hook you up with those tickets. And Dan, you could take the first caller right now if you'd like. If you think they have the answer to said question, we'll get you hooked up there. How about that?
Sounds like a deal.
All right, so we'll do that here. Dan Day will take that there. And Donno, I ask you as we get set to hear from Joe, your best prediction for how tonight's game goes for the Dolphins. Do you see this being a situation where the Dolphins struggle in this cold weather? Are we going to do that narrative, or do we come in tomorrow morning and celebrate another win here for Miami?
Yeah, well, I think the weather is going to make it a low-scoring game regardless. Obviously, the Steelers might handle that a little bit better than the Dolphins do, but I think the Dolphins keep it close because, again, like the factors that have led to their recent wins, 4 straight, 5 out of their last 6, have been playing excellent defense and running the football at a high level. And I think it was Omar who said it, but probably the best run blocking he's seen in a while from these Miami Dolphins. So I think that they're going to be able to keep it close. I'm not going to count on Tua doing too much tonight. Same thing for Aaron Rodgers on the flip side. So I think it's going to be a low scoring, I'm going to say like a 13-10 type of game. I'm going to pick the Steelers to come out on top in a low scoring affair. But I don't think there's going to be any point tonight where the Dolphins are going to be completely out of it. I think it's going to be a close game throughout.
We said someone asked what's the number. It's -3. The Steelers are favored by 3 tonight. The over-under was at 41.5, I believe, Donno, last I checked.
So I'm going way under that then if I've got 23 combined points tonight.
I know. I see you're going way under that. Now, I'll be honest. I think there's going to be some scoring in this game. Apparently I'm alone in this because, it is 41.5. That is a low number. Yeah. I do think there will be some scoring in this game. Now, does it go over 41.5? That is kind of, that's about 3 touchdowns apiece here. So does it go over that number? I'll be honest, I'm going to take the over on this one. I just feel like there might be a potential for some points to be scored out there, and that number is pretty low at 41.5. So I do think there might be some points scored. I do think the Dolphins lose this game, Donno, and we can get, hopefully we get we eat some crow tomorrow morning. Yeah. But I don't know that that's going to be the case here. I do think they'll struggle in that weather a little bit, and I'm just basing this, to be honest, man. This is not like an emotional pick or anything like that. I'm just basing this on what I've seen and what the body of work tells me, and that's where I'm basing this on. I would love to be pleasantly surprised. I'd love to see them overcome all that stuff. I don't know that it happens tonight, but I do think this game will be somewhat close, though. I don't think this is going to be a blowout, but I do think there will be a little scoring in this one. So I got the Steelers covering and winning this by more than 3, but in a somewhat high scoring affair here tonight, Donno. High enough to cover, not that high, but high enough to cover that over. How about that?
I think I might have gone a little too low because I just looked up the forecast. There's no snow expected, so it's, I don't know. I was kind of thinking it'd be like a winter wonderland out there, to like that practice that they had a couple nights ago. It was coming down, the snow there. So if it's gonna be clear, I'm gonna go 2017. Then I'll go a little higher.
All right, so you're raising the number. I watched that Bills and Patriots game yesterday, and they scored, a combined almost 70 points.
Yeah.
The 35-31 off the top of my head, I think. That was a fantastic football game. That thing had all the weather elements to it.
Man,
and Drake May and Josh Allen. I guess that's the future of the AFC East, man. Well, not the future. Josh Allen's been there, but the Patriots with Drake May, and he scored a few on the ground. He's special, man. They seem to have hit a home run with that guy, and the Patriots have a nice roster. But Josh Allen sometimes can do that, man. He can put a team on his back and will you to win. But we'll see if the Dolphins can hang in there, man, and keep playoff hopes alive. A tough one here for them coming up this evening. We had a bunch of news in the NFL as well. We'll get to with Joe on the other side here, including Patrick Mahomes out for the remainder of the season, torn ACL, and I know that he'll be fine. He'll recover from that, but that certainly stings, man. You hate to see a guy with that level of talent go down like that. You also saw Micah Parsons. He got the ACL as well yesterday. So, boy, the stars in the NFL are dropping like flies. All they say is we need more games, Donno. We need more games, but we're losing people left and right here. So we'll do this. We'll take a quick pause. We'll get all caught up here, and Joe will join us from Pittsburgh. If you missed that earlier, get his take on tonight's game. What can the Dolphins do to be successful in this one here? And can Miami come out with a win? He'll give us his pick as well. We'll do that when we come back here on WQAM.
Hey, Atlantic Men's Clinic. I